Hi! Thanks so much for joining me at ZapConnect. I'm Lisa Orr. I'm a product manager here at Zapier. I've been working on this really cool tool called Custom Actions, and I'm so excited to share it with you. So let's dive in. We're first going to talk about Custom Actions, the star of the show, take you through a really great customer story, and show you how it all works with a demo, and then tell you how you can get started building custom actions with AI. All right, so have you ever tried to build a Zap and you run into this frustration where the action you need for the app you're working with just isn't there? That happens. Now, at Zapier, we have thousands of apps and thousands upon thousands of actions, and yet you can still find yourself saying, hey, I wish this action existed so I could use it for this really cool workflow I've invented. Well, now we've got you covered with custom actions, and you can create it with AI. So introducing Custom Actions. Unlock more from your apps with custom actions. Create the action you need and unblock your Zaps. You can build these custom actions once and reuse them anywhere, which is super exciting. And also, if you're on a team, you can build a custom action. Your team member can use it on the same account and vice versa. Super powerful. Once again, you can build it all with AI. So let's jump into a demo. What are we talking about? Custom actions. How does this work? Let's find out. Here I am in the editor. I have a two-step app, very simple, a trigger and an action. And the action step is where we're going to focus. I have it pulled up for Google Sheets. And on the right, I can now edit that step. And now this is where, if you have some really cool use case for Google Sheets, you might say, all right, I'm going to look for the action that's going to power my use case. You would go here to the action dropdown, and on the left-hand side is our standard actions. If you scroll through, we have a whole bunch of great actions that cover most of the use cases out there for Zaps. Now, if you've got something really interesting you want to do, or you just want to work with AI to build something bespoke, that's where you jump into custom actions. So if I jump over to this tab here, I see I've got a couple options. Specifically, I want to create an action. I'm going to click this button. A custom action builder opens up and we can get started. So it's asking me, what do I want to build? And I'm going to chat with the AI, and the AI is going to do all the work. So let's talk about a fun little use case. I have a toy Google Sheet here. I've got my name column and I've got my confirmed column. All I want to do is add a list of names and indicate whether they've confirmed their status for an event. So we're going to start building this custom action with the first part, which is I just want to add a list of names. So jumping back over to here, I'm going to say add a list of names to a sheet, Google Sheet, and make sure no duplicates are added if the name is already in the sheet. All right, so I've just described, as I said to you already, what I want to build with that toy Google Sheet, said basically the same thing back to the AI. And now it's asking some clarifying question, which is amazing. So first question, do you have a Google Sheet in mind? I'm going to say, I'm going to add that dynamically. Number 2, name column, which is the column. So I'm going to say that's the first column that has the names. All right, and number 3, list of names. How will I provide that? I'm going to provide that as a comma separated. All right, and I submit that, and now the AI is going to think about what I've asked for and those clarifications. Great, and so now we have the AI confirming what we are building is what we want. So it's saying, here's the summary, the input fields that we're going to work with, and the logic that's going to be executed. This looks good to me. I'm going to say yes. And now the AI is going to start building the action itself. So now we've got the endpoints are being selected by the custom action. It's going to start building the action with writing its own code. How cool is that? The AI is writing the code for us to build the action using those endpoints. And we can already see it's getting built over here. We've got the name of the action, the description of the action, and we've already got the action built and ready for testing. So I'm going to add in my authentication. What's really cool about this is a dynamic dropdown has been added for us by the AI. I'm going to choose status by name, which is the name of that Google Sheet. The sheet itself is called names. And then the list of names, I'm going to add Sarah to see if it'll skip the name or add it. And then let's try adding Bob too. And now we're going to run the test. All right, it says names added successfully. And there we go. Sarah was not added again. And now we have Bob. Okay, so that's great. Now I want to add in a new input field that will indicate whether the group of users have confirmed their attendance or not. So I'm going to say add an optional input field named confirmed. And if marked true, add true to the second column. If marked false, add false to the second column. All right, so all I'm asking is to add another input field. So we had 3, now we're adding a 4th. And what I want it to do is when I select it, it will add a true value to the second column in our Google Sheet. And if I don't select it, that will be false. What's great about this is then I can take this custom action and use it in 2 different ways in any Zap I want to add it to. If I want to add a list of people confirmed, I can use it in that way. Otherwise, I would unselect the box. All right, and it's made that update. And we see on the right, we've got our previous entered input fields. And now we have this new field, confirmed or unconfirmed. So if I leave that unchecked, it's going to say false. If I leave it checked, it's going to say true. So let's add another name, Carrie. I'm going to rerun the test. Name successfully added. And we've got Carrie and we've got true, which is amazing. All right, last thing I want to do is, okay, we've got our action working as expected and it's skipping duplicates. One other fun thing we can do with custom actions is that if we want to have the action throw an error for a specific reason, we can do that. So I'm going to say, instead of skipping duplicate names, I want you to throw an error when a duplicate is found in the list. All right, so we've sent that off and we will hopefully get back an updated action that is going to give us an error when we have a duplicate. And this is a really interesting use case for managing your Zaps, exactly how you want to manage them, depending on the behaviors you have going in and out of your actions. And to demonstrate the power of this, I'm going to show you a screenshot from a customer of ours who's shared this explicitly for sharing with you guys. And that is Warwick has created a custom action for Dropbox, and he wanted to do something special with error management. So he's getting Dropbox folder details. And then on the left here, I'm going to zoom in. He asks for 2 updates to the action. The first one, if no folder can be found when searching for the URL, we will need to error properly. The action was updated with that request. And then Warwick changed his mind. He said, actually, rather than erroring at all, please output the error as a message, which is a really powerful workaround. What he doesn't want to do, he doesn't want his Zap to fail if an error is hit. He instead wants the action to continue as successful and pass that error message downstream and work with it later on in the Zap, which is super cool. So you can get really specific and customized with your custom actions. So jumping back over here, we already have Sarah, Bob, and Carrie. What we should find is because we have duplicates, this should run into an error. So I'm going to rerun the test. And there we go. We now have an error, duplicate name found, Sarah. Okay, so last thing to look at is we've built a custom action just as we like it. We would then publish this action. And if I want to continue editing, I click that button, come back to here. Jumping back to the Zap, and I refresh the Zap, coming over to custom actions, we now have our custom action available to use in the Zap. If I click through here, working with this action is just like working with any other action. I've made my selection, I've chosen my account. Coming into configuration, we have those exact same input fields that I could interact with and then test directly in the Zap. All right, so we've taken you through custom actions, how you can work with AI to build the whole custom action for you. You can iterate, add input fields, change how data is being processed, change the logic, handle errors or add errors. Really powerful tool.